Hi everybody, here we are for lesson 2 of A Course in Miracles. Now remember, I'm going to start the lessons always by really reading A Course in Miracles from just inside the front cover all the way through, so that it covers the preface and then moves on to the text, which, as I've said, for myself, I've found that it really puts me in a great space for doing the lesson. It just kind of, it's like you don't need any preparation for the lesson. If you don't want to do that part, by all means skip ahead and just get to the part where we're just doing the lesson and reading the year of forgiveness following the lesson. Okay, do what feels right for you. That's really the way to do it. That's the way I do things anyway. Right, so preface. This preface was written in 1977. By the way, I'll read no more than maybe a page and a half at a time. That's usually, so there we go. There's first page and then just down to here, and then we'll get on with the lesson. Okay. This preface was written in 1977 in response to many requests for a brief introduction to A Course in Miracles. The first two parts, how it came, what it is, Helen Schuckman wrote herself. The final part, what it says, was written by the process of inner dictation described in the preface. How it came. A Course in Miracles began with the sudden decision of two people to join in a common goal. Their names were Helen Schuckman and William Thetford, professors of medical psychology at Columbia University's College of Physicians and Surgeons in New York City. It does not matter who they were, except that the story shows that with God, all things are possible. They were anything but spiritual. Their relationship with each other was difficult and often strained, and they were concerned with personal and professional acceptance and status. In general, they had considerable investment in the values of the world. Their lives were hardly in accord with anything that the Course advocates. Helen, the one who received the material, describes herself. Psychologist, educator, conservative in theory, and atheistic in belief. I was working in a prestigious and highly academic setting. And then something suddenly happened that triggered a chain of events I could never have predicted. The head of my department unexpectedly announced that he was tired of the angry and aggressive feeling our attitudes reflected, and concluded that there must be another way. As if on cue, I agreed to help him find it. Apparently, this course is the other way. Although their intention was serious, they had great difficulty in starting out on their joint venture, but they had given the Holy Spirit the little willingness that, as the Course itself was to emphasize again and again, is sufficient to enable him, capital H, to use any situation for his purposes and provide it with his, capital H again, power. To continue Helen's first person account. 3 startling months preceded the actual writing, during which time Bill suggested that I write down the highly symbolic dreams and descriptions of the strange images that were coming to me. Although I had grown more accustomed to the unexpected by that time, I was still very surprised when I wrote, "This is A Course in Miracles." That was my introduction to the voice, capital V. It made no sound, but seemed to be giving me a kind of rapid inner dictation, which I took down in a shorthand notebook. The writing was never automatic. It could be interrupted at any time and later picked up again. It made me very uncomfortable, but it never seriously occurred to me to stop. It seemed to be a special assignment I had somewhere agreed to complete. It represented a truly collaborative venture between Bill and myself, and much of its significance, I am sure, lies in that. I would take down what the voice said and read it to him the next day, and he typed it from my dictation. I expect he had his special assignment too. Without his encouragement and support, I would never have been able to fulfill mine. The whole process took about 7 years. The text came first, then the workbook for students, and finally the manual for teachers. Only a few minor changes have been made. Chapter titles and subheadings have been inserted in the text, and some of the more personal references that occurred at the beginning have been omitted. Otherwise, the material is substantially unchanged. The names of the collaborators in the recording of the course do not appear on the cover because the course can and should stand on its own. It is not intended to become the basis for another cult. Its only purpose is to provide a way in which some people will be able to find their own internal teacher. We'll leave it there for today as a preface, and we'll move to Lesson 2, The Course in Miracles. That helps my editor as well. I have given everything I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place, all the meaning that it has for me. The exercises with this idea are the same as those for the first one. Begin with the things that are near you and apply the idea to whatever your glance rests on. Then increase the range outward. Turn your head so that you include whatever is on either side. If possible, turn around and apply the idea to what was behind you. Remain as indiscriminate as possible in selecting subjects for its application. Do not concentrate on anything in particular, and do not attempt to include everything you see in a given area, or you will introduce strain. Merely glance easily and fairly quickly around you, trying to avoid selection by size, brightness, color, material, or relative importance to you. Take the subjects simply as you see them. Try to apply the exercise with equal ease to a body or a button, a fly or a floor, an arm or an apple. The sole criterion for applying the idea to anything is merely that your eyes have lighted on it. Make no attempt to include anything particular, but be sure that nothing is specifically excluded. I have given everything I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place, all the meaning that it has for me. I have given everything I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place, all the meaning that it has for me. Let's now move to Lesson 2, A Year of Forgiveness. There's Renee's beautiful illustrations. I have given everything I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place, all the meaning that it has for me. I am that one you know as Jesus. It is wonderful to have you with me again. These lessons are designed to transform the inner fundamental workings of your mind. And you may not understand them. You may not see the significance of them. But as you apply them, you will begin to see, feel, and become aware of the fact that you have different values laid on different objects. You do not like saying things like, my child has no meaning, my home has no meaning, and my car has no meaning, other than the meanings I have given them. You will feel little indicators that your mind does not agree with this lesson. Do not allow these little feelings to distress you. Pay attention to them after the lesson. Do the lesson as described. Then pay attention. Ah, I didn't like saying that my dog or cat has no meaning other than the one that I have laid on it. You will feel those little tugs of resistance, and they are little indicators of your argumentative position in with this teaching. Remember, you do not have to agree with these lessons. By doing them, you use your free will to transform the aspects of your consciousness that you do not yet know are causing you trouble or difficulty. Those little tugs give you an indication of something going on inside your mind. Trust in this process. It is the means you have been given to achieve absolute freedom. Freedom from all your fears, freedom from death, and freedom from all the things that worry you and cause you consternation. It is hard in these early lessons to believe that saying such things could transform your mind. But rest assured that you are studying the most powerful, transformative texts available to you at this time. I am that one you know as Jesus, and we will see you again tomorrow. Blessings, dear ones. Namaste.